Hey Facebook friends, it's Cliff. But I suppose if you're on my Facebook, you already know who I am. As you probably noticed, I've been putting some photos of my food that I've been cooking. I'm just doing that for fun. I thought since I had a camera and a little bit of spare time, I thought maybe I'd make a video and cook something and show people how to maybe make something new. Again, I'm just going to have some fun. I'm going to do some stuffed chicken with some ham and cheese. I mean, you can go and buy stuffed chicken at the grocery store, but usually it's loaded with salt. So I thought if I make it from scratch, at least I know what's going into it. It's not really that hard to make, just a few steps, and I'll show you how. So to make our stuffed chicken, I have a couple chicken breasts there, as you can see. Um, Basically, they're probably about maybe 5-6 ounces. They're not very big, but they're not tiny ones either. One thing about chicken, I don't claim to be anybody in culinary arts, but one thing I've learned about watching a few shows is that you got to be very careful with chicken. They say you should always give it a rinse before you use it, and if you're using a cutting board, a knife, or anything like that, that you should wash it, and especially wash your hands after you're done using the raw chicken. There's a very strong chance you could catch salmonella, I believe it is, so you always want to be careful using chicken. I'm going to stuff it with some ham, which I picked up at the grocery store. That little pouch has about 11 slices in it. It's about $1 for the package, so there's enough there to do the 2 chicken breasts. And I'm going to use a couple pieces of, well, these are Black Diamond fat-free mozzarella cheese. I mean, you could use shredded cheddar or mozzarella or Swiss. I'm going to use those because I have them, and I know the points value for it because I'm following my Weight Watcher points. And then I'm going to use a breading station with some whole wheat flour, liquid egg, and some breadcrumbs. And obviously I have my cutting board and knife over here. Can't do anything without using those tools. And I'm going to cook it in my little convection oven. I prefer to use that than the regular oven. I find it goes a little quicker and it doesn't heat up the kitchen like the oven normally would. So there's my pan, and I got some cooking spray. So next I will show you how to stuff the chicken breast, or at least I will make an attempt at it. Okay, so now we're going to stuff our chicken breast. I apologize if the camera angle is a little weird. My kitchen's not that big, and I'm doing this by myself, so there's only so many places I could put the tripod in the camera, so we'll try to wing it the best we can. So you take the chicken breast. Now, most chicken breasts come with this little piece right here. I think they call it the fillet. I'm going to use this as more or less a point where I'm going to split open the chicken, and I'm going to cut that way and hopefully be able to make a pocket. Let's see if I can do this. As I said, I'm not a chef, so there are some things I probably could learn along the way, but we give her a try. So there, now I got it winged open, I think pretty good. I'm going to place my piece of cheese right here inside, and I'm going to add probably this ham is very thin, so I'm going to add probably 3 slices of ham. That should be enough to let you know that there is something inside, and not be too much that it won't seal up properly. So maybe if I do it like this, it doesn't look too bad. But basically that's a stuffed chicken breast, and I'll do the other breast, and then we'll be off to the breading station. So now we're at the breading station. This is where I'm going to add my coating to the chicken. Before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pan, and I'm going to add a little cooking spray to it. Get that ready, because basically once the chicken is done from here, I'm going to put it right on the pan and get it right into the oven. So you take your chicken breast, you put it in the flour first. You should always have your chicken patted down dry before you put it in here. You don't want it too wet or it'll gum up. But I'm just going to try to get as much flour on it as I can. This is the first coating. Now you could add flavor to the flour, add some salt and pepper if you want, some herbs. I've done that in the past. This is a whole grain flour, so I'm just going to leave it as is and see what that what that tastes like. So then from here, I'm going to dip it into the egg. Now they say you should always switch hands. That way there you don't bread your fingers as well. So then from the egg, I'm going to dump it into the breadcrumbs and use my dry hand again and try to get as much breading on this as I can. Over there it gets nice and crispy in the oven. Oh, I made a little mess, but that's going to happen if you're in the kitchen. That shit's going to happen. So here we go. I think that looks pretty good. And you're going to be careful not to open up my chicken breast. I don't want my stuff to come out before it hits the oven, but I'm just going to place it on the pan, and now I'll do my second piece, and we'll get it in the oven. So there's our 2 chicken breasts, breaded and ready to go. I actually found that there wasn't a whole lot of breading on it the first time around, so what I actually did after I turned off the camera to the last stage is I actually dunked it in the egg one more time and gave it another coating of breadcrumbs. That way there, hopefully it'll be a little bit crispy, but you don't have to do that. You can do the one coat. I don't think there's going to be much of a difference in the difference on the amount of breadcrumbs that are on there. So if you are counting points, I probably wouldn't calculate much more. You're still looking at maybe a tablespoon for all that's on those 2 pieces right there. So from here we're going to put them in the oven. Got my little oven here warming up. I got it preheated to 400, and it's a convection oven, so it might not take as long as standard chicken would in the oven, but should be about I guess 30-35 minutes, but you want to keep an eye on it. Unfortunately, if you're like me, you always take your piece of chicken and you cut it open to see if it's ready. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that with this, because once we cut it open, we're going to lose our cheese and all the goodness that's inside. So we're just going to have to trust that 35 minutes these will be ready, or you'll at least be able to tell by the looks of the outside if it's starting to get really golden brown. Otherwise, well, I guess I could have a bit of a mess up, and I might have to stick them back in the oven with them being cut in half. So I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope for the best. So now I'll show you how to do a quick side dish. For one of my sides, I'm going to make some brown rice. I like